What's going on, folks? How y'all doing out there this Friday, September 19th? Can you believe that we are wrapping up this end of the year? It's coming to a close pretty quick. In case you don't know, I'm Lee Black. I'm the host of Real Talk for Real Men. We typically air on Saturdays. And so I'm hoping to possibly do a show tomorrow, but I'm not coming to you tonight to talk to you about my show, which will possibly air tomorrow again. I wanted to kind of talk today about the movie. I'm doing a movie review, just so you know. So for those of you who have not seen Spike Lee and Denzel Washington's new movie, this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. So hopefully if I can get everything showing. All right, there we go. So there seems to be a little bit of a lag. And I'm only going to talk for a few minutes, folks. This is not going to be long you, but I just felt compelled to give my own personal opinion. For those of you that don't know, I'm an opinionated SOB. And so Spike Lee's latest movie with Denzel Washington is called Highest to Lowest. And a Spike Lee joint, particularly when there is a Denzel Washington movie, it should be everywhere. This was an odd movie where it did not get the proper marketing. It definitely didn't get the reviews, and it has not made a tremendous amount of money. In fact, the audience ratings of this is very, very low. Now, Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 85% score, and some of the critics and reviews have been horrific. Probably, I would imagine, the worst of Spike and Denzel's. The audience calls it a joke of a movie. Even in talking to some people personally who've seen it, I had yet to meet anyone who said that they actually enjoyed this film. With that being said, it took me this long to actually watch this movie. The movie came out about a month ago, and it was already on my streaming network within a week. It just didn't do a whole lot. I didn't even see a lot of marketing, which I thought was very strange. And so when it finally did come out and the reviews were so horrific, and I never did hear anybody recommending go see it, it kind of sat on the back burner for me. And I have been in no rush to actually see this movie until finally today I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to watch it because it's Spike Lee. It's Denzel. If nothing else, I've got to judge for myself. So here's the thing. I really, really enjoyed this movie, folks. Now, look, let me be clear. It is not for everybody. It is definitely one of those kind of films where it's an acquired taste. It's a retelling of a Japanese film from Kurosawa. I think that's Kawasawa, how you pronounce his name. And so it is not a remake. It's a reimagining, as we say. This particular, the original movie was about a heist. This is kind of about a kidnapping. It's told in urban terms, up-to-date themes dealing with rap and the music industry. And so if you're coming to this movie with a high expectation of high volume action, over the top theatrics that we've come to expect from both Spike Lee and Denzel Washington, you are going to be disappointed. It is not that. This is very much a slow burn type of thriller. I considered it a masterclass in acting from Denzel, but I enjoyed it because visually it was absolutely stunning. And right there, I think it was marketed improperly. This is visually one of the best movies I've ever seen in terms of how it depicts New York. And I think Spike would have done himself a big favor had he marketed this movie under that banner, that this is, a glorification and adulation of New York City, because the opening scene itself, stunning. It really, truly made you appreciate the nightline of New York City. And for those of you that don't know, I am a New Yorker. I'm from Harlem, New York, St. Nick Projects. And so it gave a beautiful visual of New York, from the skyline to the Brooklyn Bridge, to the high risers, to just the Hudson River, the boardwalk. And even throughout the movie, you truly got an opportunity to see what New York was like, For many people, they've never actually visited New York. And I've always told people, even if you're from the South or somewhere else, you might not want to live in New York, but it is absolutely a city that you must visit before you pass this mortal coil, because it is unlike any other city in the world. There is a reason why New York is the Big Apple and why it's hated by even people from other countries, because its decadence, its opulence, it's worth seeing. But more importantly, the people. And Spike did a brilliant job, to me, capturing the essence of New York, from the subway scenes to the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the culture, the vernacular, the terminology. He did a brilliant job, to me, capturing it. And so it's the kind of movie that if you're, again, looking for a lot of stunts and chases, you're not going to get that. It is very much a slow burn thriller. It is a masterclass of acting from Denzel and his interactions with the actress who plays on The Godfather of Harlem. I thought she did a brilliant job as his wife. She carried her role with such elegance. And then the scenes between him and Jeffrey Wright, absolute brilliance. Jeffrey Wright is an underappreciated actor. He's just brilliant in everything that he does. And I truly appreciated how they were able to capture the essence of New York, and to me, did a very believable job of music execs in the rap business. Now, it did take you behind the scenes of rap. Again, this was a story about a kidnapping. This was a story that very much was lived inside of the storytelling itself. But for me, I actually enjoyed it. It is the kind of movie where you could sit back and get absorbed and engrossed into the actual story. And I never found it boring. For those people who say they didn't like it, and I've had several people told me it was Denzel's worst movie, it was garbage, it was this, it was that. I disagree. Now, I know that I'm in a minority, but I truly actually enjoyed watching this movie. Now, the stories that I heard about A$AP Rocky being so brilliant, going toe-to-toe with Denzel, that was a little bit exaggerated on Spike Lee's part. Did he do a horrible job? No. I thought, and pretty much he probably played himself very much close to the vest. He played a rapper. But the scene between him and Denzel, the studio scene, and I don't want to give it away, there is a dance that they're doing. And I think that's what Spike Lee was referring to, that A$AP held his own, but I didn't find A$AP did such a brilliant job. I was more impressed with Denzel, the wordplay. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't Quentin Tarantino type of dialogue, but it was smart, it was witty. I thought it was current, and Denzel was Denzel. So I believe with every fiber of my being that this was Spike Lee's ode to New York. I think this was a labor of love. I think he approached Denzel Washington, and that's his homeboy from way back. Denzel got paid, not his normal $20 million payday, but, it's reported that he made something like $11 or $12 million. And look, he didn't have to do any real stunts. He was in his hometown. He was doing it with his homeboy. I think there was a familiarity, a comfort with them two teaming up together again to make some magic. And yes, it missed the mark because we've come to expect such big, massive roles from them two when they get together. They'll never be able to surpass Malcolm X. But for me, I thought it was a great movie. It's a great movie to sit down, pour yourself a glass of wine, truly just enjoy the movie on its own merits. I never found it boring. The ending was a little bit contrived, especially the chase scene, but they didn't spend too much time on that. I loved it. It is high culture. And of course, in any Spike Lee movie, there is a commentary that he's making. And I thought he did that at the end where he talked about the music business and where music is a little bit. But he didn't do it in an overhanded way like we get sometimes from Tyler Perry movies. And so anyway, that's my review, folks. It is one of those movies to enjoy at home. I definitely think this is not something that you should go see on the big screen, because big screens are made for big budget movies with the crashes, the chases, the over-the-top acting. This is not that. This is a very quiet, it's almost artsy in a sense, you know, without being snobbish and without being offensive in that sense. So it's not avant-garde or anything like that, but it's very much a movie that you could put on in the quietness of your home. Again, have your meal in front of you, pour yourself a nice glass of wine, and sit back and enjoy great acting from Denzel, Jeffrey Wright. They had some other appearances. It was just a good, solid movie. Think Inside Man, but without the action sequences. And so if you like good acting, you may just like this. I absolutely enjoyed it, I will say. I see I've got grown woman CC checking me out. She says, I've only been there to shop, never did any sightseeing, although I want to. Do yourself a favor, go to New York City. I would tell anybody, I've grown to the point where I wouldn't want to call it home because I'm more accustomed to the South and the quality of life is just better for me. But New York is always going to be home. And I would tell anybody, I don't care whatever city you go to, Las Vegas, California, Atlanta, New Orleans, all of those places are great. They are not New York City. There truly is no place on earth like New York City. It's nightlife. It's eclectic mix of people, the melting pot that it is, the street language, the speed of the city, the smell and taste of the city. New York is the most unique city you will ever come across. And if you don't do anything else, it is worth a visit. And because it's made up of 5 different boroughs, it makes it truly unique because each borough has its own unique flavor. And I think Spike, he didn't go through all of the boroughs, but I really enjoyed how he captured the essence of New York City and what it means to live there, from the opulent high rises all the way down to the street and those that ride the subway. I thought he did a good job, and I enjoyed it. CC said, I haven't watched it yet, but I certainly will be on my list. Absolutely, CC. You and your husband, I think you'll enjoy it. You'll get a great look at New York, and visually it's filmed beautifully. The camera angles, of course, Spike knows what he's doing. I think you'll enjoy watching it as a couple because it is the kind of movie where you can pause and have a little dialect and zero in on the scenery. And so I thought he did a great job. So that's my take, folks. I'm getting ready to jump off here, but in case you don't know, I will be back on in 30 minutes on TFG Tonight with Brenton Haynes. So I hope to see you there. And I'll be sharing my unfiltered views on all things politics and beyond. Anyway, I'm Lee Black. It's nice seeing you guys on a Friday. And I'm not sure yet if I'm doing my own show on Saturday because, in case you don't know, I'm now on a doctoral program. It has been a brutally tough week. In fact, I was sick for the first 3 days of this week. So I am not sure. It's going to come down to how I feel because I do have some homework and things of that nature. But I hope to see you if I decide to pop in. God bless. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace out.